Most men chase, they run after attention, approval, and validation. But chasing never wins in the long run, because the more you chase, the more value you lose. The high-value man never runs, he walks. He moves with purpose, calm, focused, silent. That silence is not emptiness, it's presence. And presence speaks louder than words ever could. You want to attract her. Don't talk, don't explain. Don't try to impress. Instead, become the kind of man who says everything, without saying anything. That begins with control. Control over your emotions, over your desires, over your reactions. When you walk into a room, and you're not trying to be seen but you're fully present, she will notice. Because presence is magnetic, stillness is power. That's the most silent way to attract her. Women feel energy. You don't need to say a word. They sense if a man is grounded or insecure, desperate or detached. When you're grounded, your silence becomes confidence. When you're desperate, your silence becomes awkwardness. The difference is inner work. The difference is standards. The difference is purpose. You attract her by not needing her. You attract her by having a life she would want to be part of but never beg to join hers. A high-value man is not silent because he's shy. He's silent because he observes, he's focused, he's not here to prove. He's here to build. His time is limited, his energy is sacred. In a world where everyone is trying to talk louder, the quiet one stands out. Not because he's loud, but because he's rare. She notices him from across the room not because he's flashy, but because he's still. Calm in the chaos, focused in the nose. She watches, wondering what he's thinking. Why isn't he looking at her? Why does he look so sure of himself? That mystery pulls her in. You don't need to perform. You don't need to chase. Just live with intent. When your focus is on your mission, your goals, your peace, women notice. You become attractive not because you want them but because you don't need them to feel complete. That's powerful, that's rare, that's alpha. She will test you. She try to see if you're really that composed, if your calm is real or just a mask. And if your silence breaks too quickly, she know it was fake. But if you stay grounded, if you stay focused, if you keep your standards no matter what, then she feels something she rarely feels. Respect. Respect comes before attraction. A man who cannot hold his ground will never be deeply respected. But a man who stays true to himself, who speaks only when he chooses, who leads without knows that man commands attention without begging for it. Silence isn't just about not speaking, it's about letting your life speak louder. It's about building a life that naturally attracts not just women but respect from other men, opportunities, growth, peace. This is the way of the silent man. Not weak, not invisible, but intentional. The man who walks in and doesn't need to dominate, because he already has dominion over himself. She notices how you walk, how you look people in the eye, how you don't interrupt, how you listen, how you don't rush to respond, how you stay calm under pressure. All of that, without saying much, tells her everything. It tells her you're not trying to impress. It tells her you've already impressed yourself, that you're busy becoming who you were meant to be, and that if she wants to come close, she have to rise to meet your energy, not pull you down to hers. In silence, you create space. Space for her to wonder, space for her to feel, space for her to approach. Because a man who talks too much takes up all the space. But the man who knows when to speak and when to stay quiet, he creates tension, mystery, depth. That's what draws her in. Let other men overcompensate. Let them try too hard. Let them beg, text, plead. You stay focused, stay centered, stay silent. That's the high-value move. That's how you attract her without chasing, without games, without even speaking. Just by being who you are, fully, quietly, powerfully. The man who wins her mind never fights for her attention. He doesn't send signals, he doesn't perform. He simply becomes undeniable. His value is not loud, it's deep. His confidence isn't knows, it's felt. It's seen in the way he carries himself when no one is watching. It's seen in his discipline, in his habits, in his eyes. A woman can sense when a man lives with purpose. And purpose doesn't beg for love, it attracts it. You see, most men live externally. They want to be noticed. They want to be admired. But the high-value man, he lives internally. He doesn't wake up hoping someone will like him. He wakes up to conquer his mission, his body, his mind, His focus is razor sharp. He's building himself not for her, not for approval, but for legacy, and that's what makes him so rare. A woman is drawn to that kind of man because he doesn't need her to feel worthy, he already knows who he is. He's not silent because he has nothing to say, he's silent because he doesn't waste words. He doesn't explain himself to people who hadn't earned the right to understand him. His silence is his boundary. It protects his energy, it filters out the noise. In a world that rewards loud opinions, the man who thinks before he speaks becomes powerful. He's not afraid to pause, he's not afraid to wait. He understands that timing is everything, and silence creates space for his words to have weight. When he finally speaks, people listen not because he demanded it, but because he earned it. Women listen, men listen, because he has substance. Most people fear silence in conversations. They think it's awkward, but the silent man knows silence is where truth lives. It's in the quiet that real presence is felt. When you don't rush to fill the air with words, she starts leaning in, she starts wondering, she starts chasing your attention, because you're not giving it away like everyone else.